Hello and welcome. Today we have a very special guest, Colonel Arvind Singh, CEO of Gujarat Titans, joining us to talk about some of the exciting initiatives the franchisee have been working on, including the incredible Junior Titans program, which has been making waves across multiple cities. We also dive into the GT's preparation for the upcoming season as well, Shubman Gill's leadership, the team's vision for the future as well. So, Colonel, it's an absolute pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Vineet. It's a pleasure talking to you again.
Shubman Gill took over the captaincy last season, his first stint as a full-time captain. He had a big shoes to fill in, shoes of Hardik Pandya. Obviously, tough act to follow what Pandya managed to do in the 2 seasons with you. What are your expectations from Gill this time around that he's second year into his captaincy, staying full-time now?
See, the expectations from him are not only from us. I think from the
Yeah,
entire cricketing world, there are a lot of expectations from him as a player. And GT has given him that opportunity to hone his leadership skills starting last year. He continues to lead the team. He is going to be the captain again. Uh,
yeah,
I think if you look at it from his perspective, it's a wonderful platform where he has more than enough number of matches and players to deal with and conditions to deal with, all of different types. You go and play in 7 different places.
yeah.
It's is apart from your hometown home stadium. So it is. It I think for him it's a huge opportunity. And I think all the credentials are there, what he's depicted thus far. Even last year, we may not have had a great
Yeah.
season, but what the glimpses of his leadership that we saw last year, I think that's why we continue backing him as a captain, as a franchise. And we're pretty sure that that experience of last year, coupled with the fact that he's also now the vice captain of the Indian team in the
Yeah.
at least in the 50 overs format, and he has that's what he's getting into good form, as you can see, and hopefully
Very
will
good form,
continue
in
through
fact.
the
Yeah.
Champions Trophy, which is equally important. I think he's becoming an important player not just for GT but also for Team India. So all in all, yes, we expect big things from him. But again, as Gujarat Titans, we don't just expect him to take the team across the line. The team is the team. At the end of the day, is the team that wins or loses. So our
Yeah.
intention as GT is to ensure that, rather than focus on any particular individual, is to create a condition where each member of that team is able to give his best. No, results is something, but more often than not, if the process is followed and your intent is right, your methodology and your manner is right, and I'm sure all 10 franchises aim to do that,
Yeah.
uh, it works out. If you do it right, more often than not, it does work out. The rest, of course,
Worked
there
out.
are no guarantees. So let's see. But the credentials are all there.
Credentials are all there. You mentioned about the credentials. So just a follow up to that, sir. What were your impressions as a leader of Shubman Gill? He's been touted as India captain. You talked about his vice captaincy role as well. Again, but still, from a franchise point of view, what are the qualities that pretty much impressed or really swayed the team management? Hand over the captaincy to Gill after Pandya. So, what were those qualities, or what is it that impressed you the most in him as a leader?
Again, let me take you back to 2022. When Hardik was announced as the captain, again, it was the same discussion. He's never captain.
Yeah, yeah,
Why
yeah,
making the captain? He's not even fit enough. He's not even this, that, and the other, and all that. We still, believed that Hardik was the right man to do the job, and he did prove that he certainly was the right man to do the job. I think the proof of the pudding, of course, lies in its eating. So, is the same story with Shuman. Here is an upcoming young player who has done enough on the field to showcase his cricketing credentials. Now, coming to his leadership skills is something. So, unless that's not something that is learned in the classroom, you learn it on the field. So, there is a full ecosystem around him which helped him out last year and will continue to do so this year as well. And I think one of the biggest factors on-field factor is going to be Joss, who's going to play alongside such an experienced player and a captain.
yeah.
Is so together, and the beauty is Suman, from what we have seen of him, what I've seen of him, he's a person who's ready to listen. It's not with him. It's not something that all right, fine. I've thought it, and this is the only way to go about doing things. So apart from putting the hard miles when it comes to his own cricket, he's also ready to listen and learn and take. That's the beauty. If you really ask me, and I've seen a few. That's the beauty of GT. It's the togetherness in that team. It's that collective will. Collective will, underline that. Collective will. It's not
Yeah.
about okay, fine. Oh, Chuman has got out. What is going to happen to us? Or XYZ is not. He got out. So the thing. What is going to happen? No, somebody else will take that spot. You've seen that in the past. You've seen that in the
Yeah.
past. People who were written off as cricketers have delivered championships and near championships for GT. That is because of the conditions that GT creates for its players. That's because of the atmosphere that you create and give them that kind of support that all boy, what you need to do is go out and do what you're best at, and that is play cricket. Leave the rest to us. We'll take care of it. So all in all, it's not just about one individual here. It's not about Shubman, the captain or the player. Yes, of course, on the field it can be pretty lonely for a captain at the end of the day, but he
Yeah.
has all the right kind of support, both on and off the field. Both on and off the field, he has that experience and that somebody who's been there, done that, helping him
Yeah.
through that process, and it's only going to get better as we go along.
That's absolutely right, right, right. So, and so you talked about personal changes in terms of your batting coach as well. You've got roped in somebody like a Parthiv Patel. It will be his first coaching role in the IPL, even though he has had different roles prior in past franchises. Can you talk about what prompted GT to bring in a batting coach, especially Parthiv Patel ahead of the season? Any thought process or any specific thought process you had in mind?
See, it's I think this appointment of saying that he's the batting coach of the team is, I would say, is a little bit of a misnomer. Again, from a coaching perspective, we are getting together a group of people who can then get the best out of the players.
The
So,
lot, yeah,
firstly, together they themselves have to have a common belief, a common methodology, and a common will to be able to do that. I think Parthiv fits in beautifully from that perspective because he knows the conditions here. He has the respect of the players because he's played for India. He's played a lot of IPL to understand how IPL functions. So rather than him trying to correct somebody's batting stance or style, it's more about the credibility that he brings to the table. That here is somebody who has achieved all this and he's standing beside me. And if I need his help, he's there to help me out. And it's good if I listen to what he's saying from a larger perspective rather than just related to, yes, they will help out if somebody, some kink has appeared in somebody's, that's what their job is. But in these 2 months of the IPL, there's not much of correction that can happen to anybody, any particular player. I mean, they're already ready. That's why they are part of this franchise. You know how competitive it is to get
absolutely
into a IPL franchise or an IPL team, sorry. So
right.
it's not that I don't think that is what is expected of Parthiv, but yes, when you look at Ashish, Vikram, Parthiv, Ashish Kapoor, Negi, Sandeep, all these guys put together, Matthew Wade now, another addition that we've had.
Yeah,
Again, so there is method to madness as to why these people form this particular group. So it's not just only about batting or this thing. I mean,
batting. Yeah,
for want of a better, this you can call him a batting coach, or you can call him assistant coach. You can call Sheesh a spinning coach or a assistant coach. These are just there for the heck of it. But in the overall scheme of things, it is that collective group which then further goes and handles the larger group of players.
that's true. That's true. So, and so one final question on this topic itself. Like teams like MI, CSK, RCB, KKR have been there for a long time, built a passionate fan base following over the years. GT, what are the plans in terms of planning to build that strong connection with the fans? It's been a great start for you guys. To 2 years, two times in the finals. There's a lot of momentum going forwards. But then again, to sustain that, in terms of building that connection, what are the plans in terms of you talked about those initiatives, but beyond that, from a GT perspective itself?
This is a very few people ask me this question. And Vineet, I'm going to take a minute to explain to you what our thought process from this count is. A,
Hmm.
when you say a fan base, how do you define that fan base? Do you say that you have the number of likes and comments on social media defines your fan base? If you ask me, and I've been into this game for the last 17 years now, I don't think so.
Yeah, right.
Right? The factors that count for us, and I'm telling you that is hygiene, and that is something that if you ask me today, I'm sitting on a not that we don't keep count of that. I'm sitting close to 8 million people who follow
Yeah,
us. There's a difference in followers and fans, huh?
yeah, yeah,
But what my fan base, which is my own audience, which is registered with me on my platform, that is our app, and all that we do around it or our website. And I would love you to ask this question to many others as to how many does somebody have on that? I have
Yeah.
2.4 million people on that. As my registered, these are the real fans that I can say. There will be a whole host of others who are there who follow and support Gujarat Titans.
Hmm.
So there are fans, then there are followers, and then there are supporters. Our intention is to eventually convert those followers and supporters into the fans of the team. And to convert them, we need to engage with them. And that is what our focus is more from an engagement perspective. It's not
Yeah.
about just collecting some data and saying that I have this much and I have that much. It doesn't matter. If I cannot engage with them and make them feel a little more, proud of the fact that they are fans and associated with Gujarat Titans, it doesn't matter whether you are supporting A or B or C or D. It doesn't matter which franchise you're
Yeah.
supporting. So we are pretty mindful of how we are going about it ever since from the beginning that we were established in 2022. If you look at it from numbers perspective, you ask me where we stand today, we are doing exceptionally well. As a brand, if somebody will go by some of the studies, we are already rated as the third best brand in the IPL. Now, that brand is a cumulative effect of everything that the franchise does on and off the field. One of two biggest things I want to share with you, and this is from the last year's season that the data we haven't got so much of last year, but we did this analysis after the 23 season, bit of it 24 also. So when IPL comes out with the numbers of the top five viewership that comes from various regions, whether it's Tamil Nadu because of CSK or Bangalore or Mumbai or these kind of regions,
Yeah.
right? Gujarat was at number five among the highest top five viewership. So it's good to see that Gujaratis have started looking at us, right?
That's nice. Yeah.
What was more important was if it was Tamil Nadu, CSK was highest. If it was Karnataka, Bangalore, RCB was highest. And such like KKR was highest where they're
Kolkata. Yeah.
based. Where they're based. Who was the second in each of these regions? This one,
Gujarat.
right? Now,
Yeah.
that is one part of the story. The second part of the story is when you do a lot of analysis, and we like to do that a lot. We are one of the few who have a CDP in place right from the very beginning and built up on it from the start itself. We do a lot of analysis at the back end. We have a couple of very credible agencies also who are working with us at the back end. And that's why I like to use this term method to madness as to how you're reaching out to your and engaging with your fans, supporters, followers.
Yeah.
The one of the biggest factors that came out after the 2023 loss in the finals. After the 2023 loss in the finals, you'll be surprised we were the first ones to congratulate CSK. We were the first ones to do that, to congratulate CSK among anybody else. Nobody else had done that. We were the first ones. And when you go down and do further analysis of what people perceive GTA, it's all about perception at the end of the day. What I you
Perception.
don't
Yeah.
anything tangible about it. It's all about perception. Uh, it what one of the major factors that stood out was we are becoming the second most favorite team of various regions. So if
Various
somebody
regions.
sitting in Bangalore says, I am a RCB supporter, but I like these guys as well. After RCB, if I have to support
Yeah.
somebody, it's GT. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whether it's in Mumbai or Bangalore or Chennai or these bigger centers where IPL does take place, that has all come out from analysis. That has all come back from data, from feedback, from surveys that one does. So why am I giving you all this background to how we are going about is the fact that we don't get excited by a video having a million views or this. Yes, of course, it's nice. Is that sufficient? No.
Not. Yeah.
So what is how are you going to define that my fan base is good, bad, or ugly? Yes, even in real terms, I am more than three or four of the original eight franchisees. So that should be a big achievement. But we don't like to compare ourselves against anybody. We don't like to compare ourselves against anybody. We have the right set of people and agencies working with us who have been part of this ecosystem for a pretty long time. For a pretty long time. So there you are pretty clear. and you have the advantage. So it works both ways. While you have the
Right.
disadvantage of joining the bandwagon 14, but you also have the advantage there's no baggage. You haven't made those same mistakes. You learn from others' mistakes, and such kind of things. So it works both ways. So we
It
know
works
in
both
three
ways. Yeah.
years, you tell me if GT carries any baggage in 3 years. It doesn't. If you ask me, it
That's
doesn't,
true.
unless
It
you
doesn't.
you
Yeah.
think otherwise. You think otherwise. So there is all the right. So we have a plan. We had a plan for the first 3 years, which we have more than achieved. Now we're working on a plan for the next set of 3 to 5 years,
Right.
and
Yeah.
we will work towards. We will work towards that. We don't just aspire to be, a good brand from Gujarat. We aspire to be a good franchise. We aspire to be a good sporting franchise, which anybody who follows the ecosystem can be proud of. That okay, fine. Here is a franchise which does things in the correct manner, in the right manner. They are transparent, they are fair, and there is something that I can associate myself with, and they don't play with my emotions. It's very easy to play with people's emotions. Human minds are something that if it was just about numbers, we can also put out some stuff which will get a lot of views and get people talking and all that, which we generally don't do that. So it's not just about numbers. Numbers wise, we are okay. We're more than okay. We're more than okay. If, people, those who haven't achieved in 17 years is what we have achieved in 3 years. If that is the comparison that you're looking at, well, yes, that is there, but does that excite us? No. That's not the way we look at it. We have a long, we're thinking of where are we going to be 5 years, 10 years down the line. That's it. We'll work
That's
towards that.
fantastic. That's fantastic. Yeah. Great, great, great
Sorry about
answer
this,
on that, sir.
but very few people talk to me about it and are ready to understand what our thought process in all of this is.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. The fan base is kind of very complicated how you judge and everything. Like for example,
Exactly.
somebody like as RCB don't have any titles, yet they are one of the most popular fan bases
Absolutely.
around going
Absolutely.
around, as compared to a CSK or
Absolutely.
MI. So yeah, it's quite
I'm
complicated that
not
way for
taking
sure.
anything away from anybody. I mean, hats off to them, the kind of, brands that they built for themselves. Hats off to them. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But
Absolutely.
it's foolish of me to start comparing with them and say that, all right, fine, or the other end of the spectrum. I don't want to do with either. The fact is that, without being boastful, I'm one of the few who have been there right from the very beginning. So I've seen IPL,
Yeah.
from when it had not started
Right.
to what it
Absolutely.
is
Yeah.
this
But it
to
is
this
now. Yeah.
juggernaut that what it is today. This huge porting of all which all of us as Indians must be very proud of as an entity that has been created. One of the best
That's
sporting leagues in the world, in whichever terms you look at it. Wonderful.
wonderful. Yeah, most definitely. And so thank you very much. It was fantastic hearing you and about Gujarat Titans' incredible efforts also, just not on the field, off the field, as I mentioned earlier, through these initiatives, Junior Titans. And clearly, GT is trying to shape a future of sports, building a very passionate fan base as well that you extensively talked about. And as we head into another IPL season, we wish Gujarat Titans all the success. And Colonel Arvind Singh, thank you once again for your time and best of luck for the
Thank
season
you.
ahead.
Thank you, Vineet. It's a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
Same here, sir. Same here. Thank you.